What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to jump in with some Marvel Future Fight and look at the March update for sneak peek number 1. So over on the forums, this is the message we get. This is CM fragment of Marvel Future Fight. A new threat looms near. Will you be prepared when the moment arrives? Prepare to fight against the new world boss. So this sneak peek was like a little weird, and we'll take a look at this and see. So it's like weird because all we get is basically like the stage, and I think the set and the stage for like the Beyonder or whatever, but it's just like a little bit of a weird one to me, just because it's like looking at 3D rendered images of the new, sneak peek stage. But then over here on Twitter, we get the same message. There's a new legendary world boss. Most people believe this is going to be the Beyonder. Good, information there. My only thing with world boss is like, I'm not really that excited about new world bosses as much as I'm excited about the number of times we get to fight new world bosses, or world bosses in general, in order to up the ante in terms of like how much can we get for to be able to go and T4 those characters. That's essentially what I want to see. Like more rewards from, can I fight the bosses now 6, 7, 8, 10 times maybe, instead of just the 5-time weekly. That's what I want to see realistically. So that was sneak peek number 1 that they had over. And then just earlier tonight, they released sneak peek number 2. And I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited about this one. And some people will probably be a little bit pissed off as well, because it's definitely going to hit that pocket. This is CM fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Agents get ready to face the supervillains who aim to destroy the world, the Titan and the Swan. Check out the new look of the wielder of the Infinity Gauntlet and the final member of the Black Order. We'll announce more information through the next week's live stream and update details later. So I kind of cobble these both together in terms of this, just because of the fact that like how they announce it. This is the only updates that we're getting basically for this week. So let's take a look. So there you have it. We will be getting another native tier 2 update in terms of Thanos. How you feel about this one is probably going to have some legs on it based on what you're looking at. So this is the next update, sneak peek. Titan and Black Swan. She's the final member of the Black Order. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know a whole lot about Black Swan. I would have to look up most of it. I do recognize her as one of the Cabal's list and stuff like that, but not innately like a character that I like pay attention to quite a bit. But if you notice the uniform that's sitting in there for the Mad Titan, so let's go take a look at that. Let's close out here and then go to our teams, and you can look at the Mad Titan over here. You basically, I forgot he already has tier 4. You're basically looking back on a uniform that he already previously had in terms of the Obsidian King uniform. The only difference is now that they're going to add like, the beard and everything. I remember when they first showed this, I thought they were going to be getting old King Thanos or whatever, basically inside there, but we didn't. So now you can see here, it's essentially the same uniform that he's basically getting. Now, I will say, and I'll give them credit for this, we're finally looking like we're getting some higher resolution images. Like this image right here, chef's kiss. Like the detail in here, like as long as this is what we're going to get, I think a lot of people will be happy with that. Not to mention, I think people will be happy in general with Thanos basically coming to the game in a new uniform. It's not that the farmer, uniform for Thanos was played out or anything, but it's just not Thanos, you know what I mean? Like, so having him return to some type of glorious look is good, some regal type look will be beneficial overall. Over on the Twitter sphere, you can see the Mad Titan returns to battle along with another sinister member of the Black Order. Will you be ready to fight? The interesting part is that I kind of failed to point this out inside the trailer as well. But if you notice when Black Swan makes her appearance here, it's kind of hard to see But right here, you can see that she's basically joining the game, and you see the T, the dash, and the 3 in there. I probably have to slow this down a whole lot. Let me see if I can do that. Let's slow down the playback speed to half, and then let's play it. So it's like really quick if you pay attention to it. But essentially she's going to be tier 3, which is good because at this point them introducing tier 2s and stuff like that is just kind of pointless. Like, let's be honest, to have a tier 2 basically still introduced to the game makes no sense. So Thanos getting a new uniform, that'll be a very expensive uniform. However you look at it, it's going to be a really pretty expensive uniform. Black Swan is a tier 3. Let's hope there's some more work done on her because her hair just looks a little iffy. She could be a very powerful character inside there, but being a character that's getting introduced at tier 3, we run into the same problem as we normally do. Like tier 3s, just their relevancy. We're at that point right now where even tier 3s being introduced just have very little relevancy unless they're going to be introduced as like a support or leadership type character. Hopefully she's going to probably hit a support role for the Black Order and something in the realm of a support to old King Thanos over there. Old Obsidian King Thanos. So let's take a look at that. Now with the new world boss, one of the things that I'm not necessarily happy about with the new world boss introduction overall too is essentially the world bosses need an update. This would be a good time to have Thanos updated inside of his world boss and maybe make him a world boss legend. Because if we go over here, let's go into world boss levels. So if we go over to world boss, we still have the old world boss ultimate type characters, and most of those were mutant type characters, and Thanos's his order. But we see Thanos over here, and I never even really pushed on that Thanos level. These haven't been updated, and the truth of the matter is, at the very minimum, let's be honest, you could probably upgrade Thanos, Apocalypse, Scarlet Witch, and yeah, you could have probably at the very least upgraded those 3 characters to legend status, and made it that as an entry point. We're gonna the main issue that I have mostly with the legend type characters is that we'll get introduced these legend characters and we'll end up with those characters as playable characters as well at some point. So that means that if it is the Beyonder, then we'll end up, he's one of the most powerful supervillains in the Marvel universe. That's just the truth. He's Franklin Richards on crack, right? But the problem is that if you, with the exception of Dark Phoenix or Jean Grey sitting in there as a world boss legend, if you look at the good majority of the characters inside here, whether we started with Mephisto and Null, and then we moved on to Infinity Ultron, and then we got Gore, and then Kang the Conqueror, none of the characters have, maybe Kang and Gore a little bit, but none of the world boss legends have any relevancy anymore in terms of them actually being playable characters in the game. And that's my fear for basically introducing the Beyonder as a world boss legend, is that we'll get that as a playable character probably a month after the release of the world boss legend stage, but we'll get a character that's a dud, right? Because it kind of starts to fall into the realm of like, the epic quest characters, for instance. A lot of those characters that we unlock, like Molecule Man, dud, right? And so we end up with dud legendary type characters. I mean, at least, I guess in some regard, at least like Gore, Null, and well, that's it really. Gore, Null, and maybe to some extent Mephisto had some relevancy, some minor impact on the game when they were introduced and held that status for a little while. But these are characters essentially too that could be T4'd, and their legendary stages could be buffed a little bit to make them maybe like, a little bit more imposing. I would love to see the characters in themselves just buff, but we'll have to see where they go with that. But that's my fear about like the Beyonder being introduced as a world boss, especially even if it's a world boss legend, is that how many of you pick up your Infinity Ultrons, Mephistos, Knowles, even King the Conqueror? Like that was like a big miss for me in here. Like pretty much you're just playing as Dark Phoenix, and I think maybe on occasion inside Timeline Battle or Other World Battle you'll throw in a Gore or King the Conqueror just to fill out your roster. But none of these characters have any relevancy anymore in terms of like meta play. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. Chalk it up as you want to. I am ecstatic to see Thanos basically come to form, because while I enjoyed that we had a PvE type character in Thanos here, and I would like to see this character do more, and I would like to see him still be like a go-between between PvE and PvP. It was partially the reason why I necessarily didn't like a lot of all Thanos's characters before, just because he was just a timeline battle type PvP character inside there, and you basically just got to autoplay his timeline battle. It's not really there. I would like to be able to use the character inside of my rotations for world boss, for giant boss raid. That's what I want to use him as. I don't really care about the PvP order scheme. So we'll see. I'm excited about the return to look, and definitely get that more regal look with him inside of his Obsidian King armor. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you feeling this update? Are you excited about the update so far? Yeah, I'm excited for Thanos. We'll see what happens. Until next time, guys. Peace.